in this podcast, we're going to be talking a ton about health and longevity. And one of the most important things you can do for your health is maintain as much muscle mass as you possibly can. And as you age, muscle starts to get degraded a little bit quicker. And you actually need to supplement with more protein in order to sustain that muscle mass. Because what happens when muscle gets broken down is those proteins that make up the muscle cells themselves are getting broken down and recycled. And that's what decreases the size of the muscle. So you need to replenish protein in order to build and maintain that muscle mass. So branch chain amino acids are, really, they got a lot of hype because of their ability and sensitivity to stimulate this protein synthesis.
So it's aiding in this protein system.
Right. Right. And as it turns out, your muscle cell needs a specific amount of circulating amino acids in order to stimulate protein synthesis, in order for that protein synthesis to happen. Your muscle's kind of sitting there waiting for, after your liver breaks down these amino acids, sends it into the bloodstream, your muscle's kind of peeking out saying, okay, what's the state of our body right now? Can I take these amino acids and utilize them to build, or are we going to need those to go back to the liver, provide fuel for the brain, provide fuel for other organs? The muscle doesn't want to take those amino acids unless absolutely necessary. So it requires a pretty high amount of circulating amino acids to stimulate protein synthesis. And so this is where the branch chain amino acids come in of like, oh, if we can increase these branch chain amino acids, we can kind of target the muscle's protein synthesis specifically. Because again, all your other organs are going through protein synthesis. They don't require as much circulating amino acids to activate. Your liver gets it straight from your gut. Your liver can, a very small amount of protein intake can stimulate protein synthesis within the liver, but that's not the case for the muscle. Now, the thing with branch chain amino acids, and the reason that you don't necessarily need to supplement with them, but you should make sure you're getting them, or you're getting a sufficient amount of branch chain amino acids, is because these are contained in most protein sources, especially animal-based proteins. So if you're getting any sort of like meat, dairy, protein that comes from an animal, or when you're supplementing with whey proteins, you're going to have plenty of those branch chain amino acids. The really, really important amino acid in terms of direct stimulation of muscle protein synthesis is leucine. And plant-based proteins are very deficient in leucine versus animal-based proteins and protein supplements in powder form are higher in leucine. Leucine has this capability to directly stimulate what's called mTOR, or mechanistic target of rapamycin. This is this thing inside of your muscle cell that's basically just waiting to just go ham on building. It just kind of sits there, and it'll once it's activated by leucine, among other things, it'll basically tell the cell, all right, time to build, let's go, let's bulk. And so leucine's able to do that and stimulate that process. If you don't have enough amino acids circulating, especially if you don't have enough leucine, mTOR is not going to be active, and you're not going to be able to get into what's called this anabolic state, or the state of protein synthesis or building. And so that's why, the BCAA supplements, if you're on a animal-based diet, you'll benefit from that. But what I would recommend is supplementing with a protein that has all essential amino acids. You don't just have to focus on these branch chain amino acids.
You heard it here first. This whole time, I thought they're like, you're just wasting your money there. And I was like, well, I'm gonna throw this stuff away. I'll never buy it again. But hey, maybe I'll supplement it, or just look for a protein that has that in there.
Yeah, and they will. I mean, most proteins that circulate on the market now, take a peek at them. They're gonna have those branch chain amino acids.
So you don't need to add on top of it. So it's kind of a waste if you. Okay.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
So, if you like them, use them. Or
well, I would say don't waste your money on buying a protein supplement that already has BCAAs and then also buying BCAAs,